Okay, so we are live.
Okay, let me just share my screen.
Yeah.
So guys, the question that we have been asked today in our today GFG is that we have been given a number, let's say in this case is 9, and we just have to find out ways through which we can reach this number from 1. And the way that we have to find should be the minimum way. Now here are two conditions that we have been given in order to find the way. The one condition is that the next step should be an additional one of the current step, or it can be 3 times the value of the current one. Now what does that means? Let's just say the value that we have been given where we have to reach is 9, and initially right now we are at 1, so we can go to 1 to 9. Okay, and there will be a path that would be followed when it comes to reaching from 1 to 9. It can be that going from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or it can be through any way. So there are two conditions that we have been given here regarding the path of these question. The first one is that the next step that I'm going to take, that is the next step, step 2 that I'm going to take, should be just an addition of step 1 where I am right now. So step 1 plus 1. So what does this mean is that if I am right now at 1, so my next step would be 2. If I am right now at 2, my next step would be 3. If I am right now at 3, my next step would be 4, and so on and so forth. That is the first condition. The second condition is that the step 2 should be like a 3 time multiple of step 1. So what we can do here is 3 times multiple of step 1. Now what does this mean? Let's say I'm at initial value to be 1. So according to condition 2, we now my next step should be the 3 times of the initial value of 1. It would be 3. Then from here on, according to second condition, my next step should be 3 times the multiplication of my current value. So 3 times 3 going to be 9, and so on and so forth. So for 9 multiplied by 3 will be 27, for 27 multiplied 3 would be 81, and so on and so forth. Now while we are at step 1 and we have to reach step 9, based on these two conditions we just have to find out a path which will take minimum distance to travel that value. So let's just take for 1 to 9. If I take the step, if I take the condition 1, it is going to say that I first from 1 I'm going to 2, then from 2 I'm going to go 3, from 3 I'm going to go on 4, for 4 I will go to 5, then from 5 I will go to 6, 6 for 6, from there I will go to 7, 7 from I will go to 8, and 8 then I will go to 9. So the number of steps that I have taken is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the number of steps here I had taken is what? 8. Now, according to second condition, what would it would be? So I am at first number. So it should be the 3 multiplied the value of the step 1. So 1 multiplied 3 will be 3. Then 3 multiplied 3 would be what? 9, which is the value that we have been given as n. So if we see carefully, only we have taken 2 steps to reach 9 from our initial value of 1. So here the steps are taken as 2, and in this case the steps are taken to be 1. So the answer in this case would be 2, because we have to return the minimum steps. Now, one thing to ponder when it comes to solving this problem, that while traversing, let's just say I'm at 1 and I have to reach at 100. Okay, and the two conditions that I have been given are just that. Now they have given us the opportunity or a freedom that we can implement both those conditions in our a certain code. Like it doesn't mean that I only have to apply the step 1 condition 1 only, or I just have to apply step condition 2 only. I can apply the intermix of these two conditions. So in this case I can say that here I am applying condition 2, I will reach 3, then I am applying again condition 2, I will reach 2, I am applying again to, I am reaching 81. Then if I now apply the condition 2, then 81 multiplied with 3, I will be at what? It would be something like 243, which is far greater than 100. So we are not now here going to apply condition 2. So from here on we are going to apply condition 1. So it will be 82, then 83 till 100, and that would be our answer in this case. So that is what we have been asked in this question. A certain number is given, our initial position is 1, we just have to reach that number in the minimum amount of distance traveled as possible, steps traveled as possible. That is just we have to return. And there are two conditions that they have given us. The one would be that you can just increment to the next step, or the second condition is that you can do the 3 multiplication of the next step. So that is what we are going to do in this question. So now by considering this example, let's just see how this code is going to work. So first of all, I have taken a variable name answer. Now what answer is going to do, it is only going to take a count for the distance that I have traveled. Okay. And rather than going from 1 till 9, the way or the approach that I have applied to solve this question is I am taking my initial point at 9 and I'm going toward 1. So what does this mean? There are two conditions that I have been given. One would be just incremented by 1, or the second condition is that do the multiplication, that it should be multiplicable by 3. So right now I am at initial value. What I will do is I will just figure out that if my given value is divisible by 3. So as you can see, when I divide 9 by 3, the remainder that I'm going to get is 0. So therefore, I am simply going to reduce this value to whatever the divisor would be. So when I'm divide 9 divided by 3, so 3 3 ja 9. So 3 is what I'm going to get. So as a result, I'm just now going directly toward my step of 3. Then from 3, I will again apply the same condition. So I will check first of all for condition 2, that either when I multiply 3 by 3, divide 3 by 3, am I getting the remainder 0? Yes, we are. So as a result, I am just going to input the divisor value as our answer, our next step. So as you can see, we are now at 1, which is the initial value that we have to take. And along with that, if we take a count of the step, which will be the value of answer. Yes guys, which will be the value of answer. Initially it was 0, here it will become 1, and here it will become 2. And that is what we are simply going to return as an answer. So here that is what we have done, that we have taken the initial value to be n, that is what they have given. Then we are simply just applying these conditions. The first condition is that n% 3 should be equal to 0. If the given value when divided by 3 is equals to 0, just reduce that value by the divisor that we are going to get after dividing this value. And if this condition is not true, then simply decrement the value of n. And after that, after each iteration, just increment the number of steps that we have taken. And as a final point out, just simply return this step. So let's just consider this code in terms of for n is equals to 4. Let's just say they have given n to be equals to 4. Now initially we are taking ns4, and there are two conditions that we have been given. So we are going to apply first of all condition 2, then we are going to check for condition 1. So condition 4 says that if the given number, that is 4, if I divide it by 3, if I am getting the remainder 0, then reduce the value, then put the value to be the divisor. But in this case you can see that when I divide 4 by 3, I'm not going to get 0, I'm going to get remainder as 1. So therefore this condition will not be applicable in this case, and we are simply going to apply the second condition, which would be just decrement the value of 4 by 1. So therefore, from 4 we have now reached to 3. Then again at 3, we are simply going to check for condition 2, that if I divide 3 by 3, am I going to get remainder 0? So as you can see, in this case I am getting the remainder 0. So thus I am going to give my next step to be the divisor. So 3 ones are 3 is with the next step, because that is the divisor we are getting. So as we have reached the n is equals to 1 condition, that is what our while loop says. From 4 till 12 we have traveled and we have reached the initial position. Just calculate the steps along the way. So from 4 to 3 it is what? Plus 1. From 3 to 1 it will be 1 plus 1, 2. And that would be our answer. This is the thing that we have done in this case. If our condition of n% 3 is applicable, we are going to apply it. If this is not applicable, we are going to apply the second condition, which is just decrement the value by 1. And along with that, increment the answer value as our while loop is going. And finally, return the answer value as answer. So if we now go and try to compile and run this code. So as you can see, for 9 it is working perfectly fine. So let's just submit it out and see how and what we are going to get. So as you can see, this code is working perfectly fine. So guys, with that, today we have solved the question of GFG. And over to you, Shivam.
So, yeah, guys, thanks for joining with us. We will catch you up again tomorrow.
Yeah, guys.
No problem, Akash.
Okay, guys.
Okay, guys, bye bye.